Hey, so the first story I'll be reading is Rapunzel. There was once a man and a woman who had long in vain wished for a child. At length, the woman hoped that God would was about to grant her desire. These people had a little window in the back of their house from which a splendid garden could be seen, which was full of the most beautiful flowers and herbs. It was, however, surrounded by a high wall, and no one dared go into it because it belonged to an enchantress who had great power and dreaded all the world. It was dreaded by all the world. One day the woman was standing by this window, looking down into the garden, when she saw a bed was planted with the most beautiful flowers. It looked fresh and green, and that she longed for it. She began to pine away and began to look pale and miserable. Then her husband was alarmed and asked, "What ails you, dear wife?" "Ah," she replied, if I can't eat some of the flower which is in the garden behind my house, then I should surely die." The man, who loved her dearly, thought, "Sooner than let your wife die, bring her some of the flower yourself, let it cost what it will." At twilight he clambered down the wall into the garden to the enchantress, hastily clutched a handful of the flower, and took it to his wife. She at once made herself a salad of it and ate it greedily. It tasted so good to her, so very good, that the very next day she longed for it 3 times as much as before. If he was to have the rest, her husband must once more descend into the garden. In the gloom of the evening, therefore, he let herself down again. But when he clambered down the wall, he was terribly afraid, for he saw the enchantress standing before him. "How can you dare," she said with an angry look, "descend into my garden and steal my flower like a thief? You shall suffer for it." "Ah," answered he, "let mercy take the place of justice. I only made up my mind to do out of necessity. My wife saw your flower from the window and felt such a longing for it that she would have died if she had not gotten some to eat." Then the enchantress allowed her anger to be softened and said to him, "If that if the case be as you say, I will allow you to take away with you as much flour as you will. Only I make one condition. You must give me your child, which the wife will bring into the world. It should be treated well, and I will take care of it like a mother." The man in his terror consented to everything, and when the woman was brought to bed, the enchantress appeared at once, gave the child the name Rapunzel, and took her away. Rapunzel grew up into the most beautiful child under the sun. When she was 12 years old, the enchantress shut her into a tower which lay in the forest, and had neither stairs nor door, but quite at the top was a little window. When the enchantress wanted to go in, she placed herself beneath and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Rapunzel had magnificent long hair, fine as spindle gold, and when she heard the voice of the enchantress, she unfastened her braided tassels and wound them around one of the hooks of the window above, and then the hair fell way down, and the enchantress climbed up by it. After a year or two, it came to pass that the king's son rode through the forest and passed by the tower. Then he heard a song which was so charming he stood still and listened. That was Rapunzel, who in her solitude passed her time in song. The king's son wanted to climb up to her, looked for a door of the tower, but was there to be found. He rode home, but the singing was so deeply touched his heart. The singing had so deeply touched his heart that every day he went out into the forest and listened to it. When he was standing behind a tree, he saw an enchantress come there, and he heard how she cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair to me." Then Rapunzel lifted down the braids of her hair, and the enchantress climbed up to her. "If that is the ladder by which one mounts, I too will try my fortune." And the next day, when it began to grow dark, he went to the tower and cried. This video is getting long. The story's a lot longer than I thought it would be. So I will finish the story up tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great night, and I love you very much. Night.